What's up, everyone? Tera Roberts here, and we are doing a Chicago Bears fantasy team preview. We are talking my picks for the Bears breakout player, bust, and sleeper. A couple of these might surprise you. I bet you can't guess who my sleeper pick is. I'm saving that one to the end. My breakout player, though, we'll start off with that one. And no surprise here, it's Justin Fields. Is it cheating to call a guy who finished as QB6 a breakout player? Potentially. But go with me on this. Fields still qualifies as a breakout player because we still need to see him perform at a consistently high level to qualify for elite status. Fields' overall finish of QB6 was fantastic, but technically it was aggressively boosted by his week 9 and 10 performances against Miami and Detroit, where Fields threw nearly a third of his total passing touchdowns for the year. If we remove those games, then we see why Fields is set for a breakout performance in 2023. Weeks 1 through 8, Fields averaged 16 fantasy points per game. His attempts and completions were extremely low, while the rushing upside was there. It just wasn't enough to boost him to being a reliable starter. Remove weeks 9 and 10, right? So weeks 11 through 18, he averaged 19.1 fantasy points. He improved, an excellent number, a solid QB1, but not someone who we are drafting as a top 5 quarterback. The DJ Moore trade was huge for Fields. He has solidified a wide receiver 1 and a player that has consistently shown top 24 upside with arguably the worst quarterback play of any receiver throughout his young career. The Bears have also reinforced their offensive line and made key additions on defense. The table is set for Fields to have a true breakout season. Moving on to my bust pick. My sincerest apologies to the Khalil Herbert truthers, but he is my bust pick for the Bears. I am so sorry, I really am. Herbert is currently the Bears' first running back off the board with an ADP around 100 to 120, depending on the platform. Now, Herbert's ADP isn't egregious. That's not really the issue here. His value is fine for right now. But my big problem with Khalil Herbert and why I will not be drafting him is that he offers zero upside. I am not exaggerating. He had 731 rushing yards on just 129 carries last year, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. That's amazing, right? But with no receiving upside, he must have touchdowns to break that ceiling of around 10 fantasy points. Chicago had 18 rushing touchdowns last year, 7th most in the NFL. But 8 of those rushing touchdowns belong to Justin Fields. Herbert is locked in a committee, likely sharing early down work with Donta Foreman. He has no receiving upside, and he has a running quarterback. It's just a recipe for an ugly floor and a capped ceiling. And that doesn't even factor in the likelihood that Rashawn Johnson will probably earn a third down role within this offense because of his pass protection being one of his stronger assets. And given his size, it's unlikely that they would exclusively play him on passing downs, so he could earn a regular role. This could be a 3-headed committee, technically a 4-headed committee with Justin Fields. And while his ADP is fine for now, if he wins the starting role, and he likely will, his ADP is going to jump dramatically. There is no way that it stays this low. His risk will get bigger. And finally, let's talk about my sleeper pick. Darnell Mooney was a popular mid-round pick in 2022, going around round 6 in PPR. But things have drastically changed extremely quickly. Mooney finished as wide receiver 72 in PPR, averaging less than 10 fantasy points per game. He is now being drafted as a low-end wide receiver 4 in double-digit rounds. And it's unlikely that his ADP increases because he's coming off an injury and other players around him will likely jump in ADP. The big problem for Mooney might have just been that he is not a wide receiver 1, and that's okay. Some guys are just not true wide receiver 1s, and they just do better playing off of a superstar receiver, and that is exactly what we saw in 2021. Mooney was playing opposite of Allen Robinson, and while Robinson was absolutely awful, he was treated as the wide receiver 1 by defenses. Mooney thrived and finished as wide receiver 23. There is promise there. The Bears should increase pass volume, and DJ Moore will serve as the clear wide receiver 1. Defensive focus on Moore could open up opportunities for Mooney. He could return to what we saw in 2021. If his ADP continues to dip as I predict it will over the next 2 months, he'll be a late round value pick with wide receiver 2 upside. Thank you so much for watching this video. Comment below and let me know who you're looking forward to drafting from the Bears. Be sure to subscribe and like this video and stick around for more fantastic off-season content.